So he always could hear the other actors, but Mike didn't catch that sound, only Ryan's. So we could dive in, we could do the ADR in LA a couple of months later. So then we did the casting with several actors we wanted to work with, and we were very lucky. For instance, one of my favorite scenes is the one with Davenport, who is the personal manager that fires him. He's Steven Tobolowsky, great character actor. And we have also, yeah, applause, yeah, you're right. Tobolowsky's brother is there. And we also have Samantha Mathis doing that so emotional, emotive, moving scene at the end when she cries. And as I told you, we were very lucky from the very beginning because all of them were out of my reach and they still did it. Probably there's something they didn't understand well.
From a technical standpoint, was it all actual light from those 3 or 4 sources, or did you augment it? And how many versions of that box did you work with for your various angles?
Great. We wanted to do a really believable film in terms of lighting. So we wanted to justify all the sources of lighting. For instance, when there was darkness, they wanted it to be pitch black, not false darkness, trying to see something so people is more comfortable. So darkness is pitch black. And wanted to justify all the sources I told you, so everybody could feel that the Zippo was the real lighting source, or the cell phone, and sometimes it even is. There are several scenes in which the only light is the Zippo, and of course in other times we had to invent many things. There's a wrong here, yeah, here he is. Here's Edu Grau, who's our DP. You should be following him. You cannot do more with less, and of course we invented many things. You cannot do the entire movie with a Zippo or with a cell phone, but we wanted to do it totally believable. For instance, with the cell phone we work with LEDs and other kind of lightings that you don't notice, but they are there. It was pretty complex, pretty difficult to do, so nobody noticed it. But and we did hard, strong work in terms of lighting, because for instance, when I saw Lifeboat, well, when I started to prepare this film, all the rest of the films in the movie looked to me very big and very easy to do, even Lifeboat, because then I saw Lifeboat, of course, that's not right, but my brain doesn't always work well, and I say, come on, there's a lifeboat, but there are 6 actors, you can cut to another, and you have the sea, now it's the afternoon, but then you have the night, and you have the stars, and now you have wind, and now you have calm. But I'm inside a fucking box, what am I gonna do? It's night, always night. There's no wind, there's no different... So we work with the lighting that way. So we have different looks, and the film could evolve and reinvent itself. So we have this source of lighting, the Zippo, we have the cell phone, we have the glow stick, the red flashlight also, or the white one that doesn't work very well. And that lets the movie reinvent itself, as I told you. And about the coffin, sorry, we made seven different coffins for different purposes. For instance, if I wanted to go around the actor doing a circle, we made a coffin, by gentlemen, we made a coffin with collapsible walls. We could take off and place in, so we could do a dolly shot, taking out the walls and putting them again. And one especially reinforced it, so Ryan could push as much as he could, which is much, I can tell you. Or a very long one, about 5 meters long. I don't know the translation, I'm so sorry, I'm metric, that's one of my problems. So we do special perspective effects. Well, if you do an entire movie inside a coffin, you have to invent a bunch of things. Yeah.
Did you ever consider not using any music, or were you always sold on having a score?
No, I always consider having music, always. It's a temptation saying not to use music, because it seems that you are going to do something that's more raw, and I don't know. It's easy to think that way, but when you are really working on that, you see that you need an emotional background so everybody knows exactly what to feel. It's about manipulation people, of course, but we are directors, that's what we do. And actually, it was very, very difficult because we have about 65 minutes of music. Our great composer, Victor Reyes, is also around there somewhere. And it's difficult to notice it's more than an hour. At the beginning you have to be very careful, because when the music gets in, you can feel it as an intermission. So you have to be very careful, and little by little it takes more and more presence. And it was a pretty hard work, but he did it great. Yeah, he's trying to tell me something, but I'll do as if I didn't see him.
We could fight it out. Maybe last 2 questions, if you would, please.
Okay, choose them very well. You. Okay.
How did you two connect? How did you get together?
This is a great answer for him.
Well, initially, like I said, I was going to try to make this film. Ultimately decided on trying to go with it as a spec instead. And so it went out. The great thing was the buzz, the response was fantastic. And so a lot of people started showing interest. I like this, I like that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then I met with Peter Safran, Adrian Guerrero and Peter Safran, the 2 producers. And Peter said, listen, I want to do this film. I know the perfect guy to direct this. We can get into production in no time. And this is the thing, he wants to do it exactly as you wrote it. Now, I had been hearing, naturally, we want to open it up, we want to see who he's talking to, maybe he gets out halfway through the movie and then he gets some other shit, and you're just like, yeah, all right, I'll write that for you if you pay me, I will, but that's not this movie. And then, like I said, along came Rodrigo, and it was the perfect match, really, because this is a guy that saw the film as I did. And I mean, that's something you can't pass up. What was the second part of your question? How did we start working together, physically? Through Skype, actually. Yeah. I have to say, I'm really thankful, because there were very few things that you just said, well, maybe we should change this, but it was always very collaborative. It was well within his right to just say, you know what, I want to change this, I want to change that, and I'm just going to go do it. But instead it was always, hey, Chris, what do you think about this? Let's work together to work through this. And that's ultimately what we did over Skype for about, what?
I don't know,
Not
a week
very
and a
long.
half, about 7 hours a day.
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, just to put this last piece of information into perspective, this script went out in March of last year, and it's here now. So that's how fast everything moved.
Okay. One last question, and
I was just wondering, everything was practical effects in camera and no CGI?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. But we had no budget for more. No. I always felt it more like a 70s movie. I was thinking on those Spielberg movies he did in the 70s, like You or Jaws. And I thought that movie should be very primal and sweaty and dusty, so people could feel it. Of course, you can do a movie with nodes all around and green screens and doing incredible shots that probably David Fincher would have done great, and would have been an incredible movie, which is perfect, but I didn't feel it that way. I thought that everything should happen there, and it's some kind of handmade quality or something like that. So we invented these mechanical systems to shoot actually everything there, as we did.
Thanks, everybody. Please make sure that you pick up after your stuff as much as you can. Thank you.